Hi, it's Frances Goodall here again. So I hope you caught my first video on sharing a little bit about my own recovery story from chronic fatigue syndrome. And one thing I didn't mention was that at times the despair and grief about the condition was really hard. So I get that if you're in a really hard place, I get how hard that can feel. And I also talked about the power of acceptance and surrender to support your healing. And from what I just said, I get that it's not always easy to accept and surrender to what is. And actually sometimes to be able to accept and surrender, we need to grieve where we are. And I also talked about the powerful step of really believing that you can heal and committing to a path to wellness. Two very important yet seemingly paradoxical foundations to healing. And in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of self-care and building up your inner resources, and also the importance of having a supportive community around you as you heal. So there are many ways we can do the self-care and build up our inner resources. Ways like I mentioned in the first video that really supported me. Things like meditation, things like practicing yoga, mindfulness, maybe learning tools like emotional freedom technique or neuro-linguistic programming. We can develop self-compassion. And actually, while I mention that, I invite you now to take a moment to just put both your hands over your heart and to wish yourself well for a moment, to wish yourself healing. Maybe even saying the words, "May I be well, may I heal," and let those words drop like a little pebble into your heart and radiate out from your heart. And even if there's a part of you that's wondering, why am I doing this? This won't have an effect. Just let those thoughts go just for now and just wish yourself well. Wish yourself compassion. Just take a moment to open your heart to everything that you've been going through and to wish yourself well. So that's just a little taste of what it can be like to develop some self-compassion. As part of this step, it's also important to learn to follow your joy in life, to allow yourself to do the things you enjoy, whether that's being out in nature, or if you can't get out at the moment, maybe spending some time looking at a tree or a plant, connect to nature in some way. Maybe it's about having more time with your friends or family that's just relaxed. Maybe it's about exploring your creativity more through art. So whatever it is that gives you a spark of joy, following that. Actually, towards the end of my recovery journey from chronic fatigue, one of the things I got into was dancing. And actually just learning to work with my body and dance as much as I felt able to in that moment, and not push it, but use it as a way of getting some movement back into my body. So what's your joy? Follow that, however small scale you're able to follow that at the moment with your current limitations. Follow it, and you can build on it over time as you build your energy and reserves and your inner strength. So I've had clients who have gone from being wheelchair bound with fibromyalgia to being fully well, as partly as a result of following deep self-care and committing to that self-care. I've had a client with chronic fatigue syndrome who was very sick and unable to work, and is now working as a wellness coach and EFT practitioner herself. So the power of self-care is deep. And this leads me on to the third step of the Lotus process, which is about the power of having a supportive community around you as you heal as well. You don't have to do this alone. It's hard to do it alone, whereas when you have a community of people around you who understand what you're going through, who get what you're going through, it really helps. So I've been running women's circles for the last couple of years for women that are healing from chronic health conditions. And women have found it a really supportive and alchemical space to do deep work, to feel deeply held, deeply listened to, deeply understood, and actually have had insights that they might not have had and growth that they probably wouldn't have had they not been in that supportive container, as a result of witnessing another woman's process and realising actually that we're all on a similar journey when it comes to a chronic healthy healing journey, and there are overlaps of the kind of issues you can work on to overcome it and to move forward in your health and in your lives. So I will be sharing more in the next video about an upcoming longer program of support where you can go deep with a circle of 12 women and myself supporting and guiding your journey through the Lotus process. So in the next video, we're going to explore the importance of also overcoming blocks to healing. There are sometimes blocks in the road to healing that need to be overcome. So we're going to be exploring more about how you can overcome some of those blocks. We're going to be exploring about how actually it's difficult to heal without a tried and tested path to health, and how we can overcome this. And in the meantime, if you're ready, you can book in for a half-hour session with me to explore whether this longer program support will be for you, and you can find out more about that at the link below. So I wish you well, and I look forward to joining with you again for the next video, where we'll be going deeper into more steps for fully overcoming chronic health challenges and getting your life back to how you want it to be, or into something completely new and transformed. I wish you well.